Welcome back, my friends, to Lamas Creations DIY. Today I am participating in Julia's monthly open challenge. This theme, don't argue the toss. So for this first video, I am going to use this empty container. It had Caesar dressing in it, I believe it was. And I have this piece of material that I found just in my garage while I was cleaning it out. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it and see how much I need and cut it off. Then with my hot glue gun, I'm going to the edge that I cut, I'm going to just give it a little hem so it's easier to glue to the jar. And I do this all the way along the edge. Now that that's all done, I'm going to, what am I doing? Yes, there's a little seam in the side of the jar. So I'm going to line up the fabric with that. And with some hot glue, I'm going to tack it down. Then on the top and the bottom where the edges meet, I'm going to just run glue along the top and along the bottom, just so that this fabric will stay on this little jar. And I do that all the way around. When I get to the end, I cut off any extra that I don't need because yes, I always cut more than I need. And then again, using hot glue, I tack the end down. On this fabric, it said something like Metro Toronto. I don't even know where I got it from. I think it was a garage sale many moons ago. So now with the lid to this jar, I cut off the frilly part there on the end, and then I'm just gonna run some hot glue along the edge and roll up the jar lid so that it's all covered as well. Taking some stuffing out of an old teddy bear, I'm going to use some of it, stuff it in the hat, twist it around, and then using some jute twine, I'm going to wrap it around a couple times, tie it in a double knot, adding a little hot glue in between the knots. And then I'm going to make a cute little tiny bow. And then I also, after I straightened and fixed all the loops and all this fun stuff, I add a little hot glue in behind the bow to keep it in place. And snip off the extra ends. Put the lid back onto the container. That's what it looks like so far. Now I found this cute little pearl bead in my stash. We're going to glue that on right in the middle for a little nose. Taking some more jute twine, I'm going to measure out a piece, wrap it around 6 times, and then cut them individually. Taking 3, I tie a knot into one end, and then I'm going to braid it all the way down until I get to the length of the jar. Then I tie another knot in the other end, lay it on the jar, and hot glue it into place. And I make 2 of these. So it looks like that. Then taking this ribbon, it's like a pink checkered ribbon, I'm going to measure out how much I need. First I'm seeing what it looks like. Hot gluing it down to the back, wrapping it around the front, hot gluing it into place, cutting off any extra. And then on the front, I put a little bit of glue on either side of the nose to tack down the ribbon. And then with the hat, I fold it up, put a little bit of hot glue on the end of that hat, and tack it down into place. And there you have a little female gnome. She's cute. Now for this next craft, I misplaced or lost or deleted the first part of the video, but I'm using plaster of Paris and about 2 cups of it and some water, and I mixed it into this bucket here. And this is the part that I lost where I showed you how I put these 2 pieces together. I'm using an Epsom salt jug and a Pringles can, and all I did was hot glue and use some Gorilla Glue to hold them together. Now with this plaster of Paris mix, what I'm doing is I'm going to spread it all over this jar, basically like you're icing a cake. Now before I did this, I should have, what I wanted to do was cut a hole for a door and holes for windows and stuff like that, but I got ahead of myself, so I had to go to plan B, which was okay. And I did this all over the entire thing. Just spreading it on, glooping it on. No rhyme or reason, just making sure everything is covered. And that's what it looks like. I scraped off away pieces for where there would be windows or a door, and it's nice and solid. Now, taking some brown acrylic paint and a paintbrush, I'm going to dab it all over the plaster. Reason why I'm dabbing is because if you wipe it, it may, the plaster could get re-wet and move again. So I'm just dabbing it all over. And I really like the technique and the way it looked. A little easier too with all the bumps. And I do this all over the entire jar. See, I lost a piece. Oops. But I fixed it, I glued it back on. And everywhere there was a window or a door, I would paint it in either brown or some I painted in black. And that's what it looks like so far, all in brown. Then taking the same paintbrush, I'm going to do the same thing, but with black. And just dabbing it all over. I don't cover the entire jar like I did with the brown. I just here and there and in spots. And this is what it looks like. And then again, I do the same thing with some gray. And if I found that I had too much gray in one spot, I'd go back to the black and put in some more black, or back to the brown and put in more brown until I liked what I seen. And I did this all over the jar as well. That's what it looks like. Taking some regular popsicle sticks, I'm going to cut off the rounded end. And then along the side of the door, I'm going to measure it up using a pencil, mark it where I want to cut, and cut off a piece. And I do this for the other side and the top as well. Then using some hot glue, I'm going to glue them down into place. And then I also make one of these little popsicle stick frames around the window above the door there as well, but not on any of the other windows. I left those the way they were. And I just tack it all down with some hot glue. That's what it looks like, and I do paint those green, but I don't show you that part. Now, using my ruler, I'm measuring the inside of the opening, and then taking some of this floral foam, I measure it, and then I use my ruler to cut it down. It seemed to be easier than using a knife. And then I cut it down some more because I didn't need that thick. Making sure that it's going to work, I'm going to trim it off. And then I also round it a bit so that it fits inside that opening. Just with my hands, fixing it and pushing it into place. Now, I'm going to, yes, I bought this reindeer moss a while ago. I'm going to use this brightly colored green stuff. It's really spongy. I don't know what kind of reindeer moss it is, but it's super, super spongy. It was fun to play with. But using some hot glue and my fingers, I'm just going to glue that all along that floral foam just to cover up that color. And I do this and continue doing it until it's all covered along the sides and on the top. And that's what it looks like so far. Nice and spongy. Then I found some of these cute little purple and pink flowers. We're going to add those into the top. And that's what it looks like. And then I find some decorative stones and I add those to the top of that flat part there, just with some hot glue. And I just mix them all up and glue them down. I'm in my new area of my work area in my garage and a new setup with a light and whatnot. Let me know what you think, if it's a lot brighter and if it looks nicer. And here's the two together, all done. Little gnome girl with her house, her gnome house. I love it. I am gonna spray the container with some clear coat spray and sealer so that I can use this outside in the garden. I think that would be fun. I would like to thank Julia for hosting this challenge. It was a lot of fun. I would also like to thank everybody for stopping by and watching my video. I truly appreciate it. If you could, please subscribe. Hit that like button on this video. It sure does help me out and helps my video get out there into the YouTube world so other people can watch. And don't forget that little bell. I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and we'll see you again next time. Bye!